Hi, my name is Patricia Allingham Carlson, and this video is called Watercolor, Fresh Eyes, Le Chat, looking at art from a different point of view. A dear friend of mine sent me a photograph of her artistic work in progress. She said, could you help me to give me some ideas to make this a little bit more special? I'm just not sure, and I'm sort of stuck as to where to go. So I opened the photo, and I was very surprised when I heard she was painting a cat for her sister's present. I said, I expected realism. This cat is not real. I am totally floored. I was never expecting a purple and gold cat presentation. And then I had to think again, how can I even help her? Because cats aren't purple and gold. Now this is me trying to be creative, and I was really thinking about it hard. And then I realized I needed to totally adjust my own expectations, because I was thinking realism and she was not. So that's what this video is about. The first thing I did was to take a photograph of her lovely little sketch. And then I copied it as closely as I could within my own restrictions, because I, again, was not thinking of a fantasy kitty. I saw that she had painted in beautiful yellow spots. And looking at her reference photo, I saw the yellow spots were wherever there was light shining on the cat. And what an exciting approach, to start with light spots in gold, which she also enhanced in some oranges. So there's me copying her lovely little fantasy image of a kitty. You'll notice I'm using a set of Prang semi-moist palettes on the left there, which is what I think she was also using, something very similar. So I decided to restrict myself to just what she was using for her watercolor. And that way maybe I could be more accurate in helping her. Thinking about my expectations, I realized that expecting things from others is very limiting. Art is subjective. We don't all see things the same way, and we do not by any means choose to present them the same way. And just because I would not paint a purple and gold cat doesn't mean that purple and gold cats are not beautiful and perfect in someone's vision of the world. My art truths are only mine. And using this kind of mental adjustment, I was able to see some things and suggestions that might help her and might not help her. But that was entirely up to her and her vision. So I readjusted my eyes, my parameters, my restrictions, looked again at her beautiful little picture and found the utter charm in it that my painting of a realistic brown cat would never have come close to. I'm continuing to fill in the colors that I saw her using so that I could start with a base of where she was coming from and then try to give her some ideas to add if she wished. Now I'm getting to the basic lines of what my friend was trying to show. It had to dry a little bit, and then when I noticed that she said she was using a dark purple or thinking of it for some enhancement, that's just exactly what I did. I mixed up a good dark purple put in a little bit of red and even some brown. And first started working with the eyes. Eyes can always be zipped up a little bit, in my opinion, on an animal or a person because they're such beautiful parts of the face. I added a very thin line of dark purple around the edge of the eye, and I enhanced the pupil by making it darker as well. After I got this line on, I used a damp brush to blend it just a little bit and to make it a little softer. And so my first suggestion was enhance the eyes a little bit. Maybe make them stand out a tad more. If you want to. Keywords there. Not what I was expecting. After working with one eye, I did exactly the same thing to the next eye. I tied it together with a sort of an eyeliner type of approach, where the eye is generally darker around the edge of the animal's eye. I enhanced the pupil, and then I softened the harder edge that I just created. I'm using a small brush, and it's giving me the control that I want. But any size brush would be perfectly fine. This is a piece of art about whimsy and about essence. And so the approach is part of the fun. Now, to be honest with you, what I'm doing here is a lot more fun than trying to paint some ultra-realistic thing. So I ended up being quite grateful to my friend for diverting me from such a fixed mind path and into the path of whimsy. $8.54 resume. Now I'm working with the nose. My next suggestion was maybe darken the bottom of the nose. Maybe make the nostrils stand out a little bit more. And generally, the structure of a cat's nose is such that you see some shadowing on each side of it. So I painted in 2 darker shadow lines and then softened them again with a damp brush. I painted across the top of the nose, little shading. Some of the expression lines in the cat's forehead and around the eyes. And then at the base of the ear where it joined the head. Inside the ear a little bit, along some of the lines of the ear. This added a little structure. Structure denotes realism. Certainly, feel free not to do this structure if you want the cat to be more essential in essence. Going down around the cat's mouth, I'm enhancing and stressing the mouth structure a little bit. Also trying very simply to denote the structure of the chin of the cat, and a little bit of shading where the head would separate the cat from the neck. As I work around the mouth, I notice my kitty looks very engaged, or looks like he's trying very hard to engage the viewer. In fact, my kitty is looking a little bit like a Goya creation with those mesmerizing eyes. Perhaps the kitty's trying to hypnotize the viewer. Interesting. My friend's kitty was much more charming. What do you think? Is this a Goya kitty? I'm showing some hairlines also with the darker lines in the dark purple. I'm using a fairly thin brush and a quick stroke to try to show some whiskers. I like cat's whiskers. A little darkening around the top of the head. And the chat is almost done. A very French cat that my friend made. And when I think of it, it seems to have influences of Henri Matisse and Toulouse-Lautrec. Not mine, but I think Henry or Toulouse would have been very, very delighted with the creation that my friend made. Way more so than with my own realistic work. So hats off, girl. You did it. My friend did take some of the ideas that I gave her and use them. Not all of them. And she created a very charming piece indeed. Thanks for the lesson, girlfriend. I hope you enjoyed my video. Fresh eyes. Looking at art from a different point of view. I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to shake things up and change them around a little bit for myself. I feel like somebody said, hey, get out of your rut. You need to see the world with a little bit broader vision. One of the things I love so much about art is that you can always try new things. And maybe I've become a little bit stuck. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to try something so different for myself. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, ring a chime, check out my links underneath. And if you do subscribe, you're not going to miss a single video coming up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking it all out. And I'll see you next painting.